Pesa ya kisima waliiba, and that's the damn truth. Sudden death is viewed kama spoiled votes, that's the sad truth. Hakuna food, shelter, matter clothing. Mom, that's the naked truth.
So if you've been keeping up with everything that is happening online, especially with the Gen Z protests, the movements, the tweets on TikTok, everybody talking and everybody doing something, you've definitely seen an individual called Willie Oeba, a poet who has now been moving across Nairobi and Nakuru as well in Matatus. His business is simple. He's doing civic education and he's doing it in a way that has not been done before. All he does is walk into a matatu, stand up and teach the people some stuff they may not have known. And he's not just doing it like in a classroom. He's doing it poetically, creatively, and he's going viral with his videos. Today we have Willie Oeba right here on Citizen Digital for the first time, just to get to know what is the inspiration behind this and what is he planning to do next, and also a little talk about Nane Nane that is coming up, and he's been very vocal about it.
Kwa hii nchi hata Chief Justice ana cry for justice. Hakuna mtu ako sure na hii katiba.
So Willie,
yeah,
karibu kwa show.
Asante sana.
Wewe ni Gen Z ama
mini millennial?
Wewe ni millennial. Ama millennials
very yeah, but Gen Z is a whole philosophy. First ilianza kama mchezo. Like they used it so that they watered down everything that was going on. But tukakubali, yes, sisi ni Gen Z, but tunataka good governance.
I've seen them say Gen Z means generation zote. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I've seen that. So to make coin Gen Z kakua generation zote right now. But initially, I think it was propagated by elements of the state so that ile story ya iPhone, KFC, ndio waambie watoto wangu ongelesheni wazazi, wazazi ongelesheni watoto wenyu, but ili backfire. Tukakubali, sisi ni Gen Z.
The young people are saying we are not your children.
Exactly.
Do not call us your children.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, so they try to diminish.
You are from Nakuru.
Yeah, I'm a proud Nax vegan.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, so Nakuru, born and raised in Nakuru. Nakuru is the only UNESCO creative city in Kenya.
What does that mean?
Well, so UNESCO.
What does that mean?
UNESCO has creative cities network. So this is the plays, music, poetry, spoken word, and we have sister cities like San Francisco. So in Eastern Africa, we only have 3. We have Kenya, we have Kinshasa.
True. Kinshasa. No, you said you should say Kenya, Congo.
Sorry. We have Nakuru. We have so it's Kenya, Congo, and Mauritius. Only 3, but in Kenya it's only Nakuru. So with the UNESCO Creative Cities, the governor, it is pushed by the artists and so many other people. We have policies. The county must follow status of the artist 2005, May 2005, and status of the artist 1980. There's a way you should approach an artist. There's a way an artist is paid depending on the service, band, contracting. So it is a policy to upscale the arts like any other professions. So Nakuru is the only UNESCO creative city in Kenya.
How is the art scene in Nakuru? Creatively, financially, wanatengeneza do kule ama it's Nairobi is really the center.
How
is it down there?
Nairobi is the center, but Nakuru is the greatest export of art in Nakuru and Kenya. You'll find so many artists are from Nakuru. Talk about kina DJ Shiti, kina Magic Senga, even the biggest producers, kina Mavo on the beat, Nyashinsky is from Njoro.
Oh really?
Yeah, so many artists are from Nakuru. Even artists who don't say they're from Nakuru. Well. Willie Oeba is from Nakuru. Yes, but you see, Nakuru doesn't have a structure. Unlike places like Nairobi, Eldoret has a structure, Kisumu has a structure, Mombasa has a structure. Simply because of goodwill, we have departments kama ya art, directorate ya arts, people who have been working there wamekuwa kifanya on acting capacity for the longest time. You find the vote, the allocation kwa CADP in terms of arts and culture and heritage, 2 million for a whole year. You cannot do anything with that. So we have talent without structures, and it shows because last week I do poetry on social justice, and also I'm very vocal on Twitter. So I asked the governor, Nakuru Governor Susan Kihika, about the War Memorial Hospital and so many other things pertaining to art.
So much drama there.
Yes, and she replied saying, I write sweet, emotional little poems.
I think I saw that.
Exactly. Now, she went personal, but it really shows. It was very insensitive for a person who is the legal contact person of the UNESCO Creative Cities. You're supposed to be very objective.
Yes.
So we did a presser the day before yesterday, talking about the state of the Nakuru creative economy industry. And she did a counter. She countered that with an article. But we raised legitimate issues. We had a 9-point.
It was Nakuru artists.
Nakuru artists.
Okay.
Yeah.
During the protests that went on for the entire month of June.
Yeah.
Nakuru was quite a hotspot.
Yeah.
It was quite a Nakuru, Eldoret, Kericho.
Yeah.
Nairobi obviously.
Yeah.
Lakini Nakuru mlijitokeza kwa wingi sana.
Kabisa. Hata mimi nilishtuka.
It was crazy.
Nakuru imekuwa complacent na the government of the day. And you know our issues ni tribalism. So watu wakifeel hii government of the day kuna mtu wetu tunasikia fiti. So Nakuru haijai kuwa in the opposing side. Hata ukijaribu kusema every government Nakuru imekuwa ndani. If you look ile Ruto government ilitengenezewa Nakuru.
True.
This government pia wali have kukuja Nakuru. So
na mzee Moi akona bedroom Nakuru.
Exactly. So vile watu walijitokeza kwa hiyo maandamano ya kwanza.
That was crazy.
It was very crazy. And it showed now hizo enzi za sijui mtu wetu, enzi za interest zetu ziko well catered for zimeisha. Yes. Leaderless, formless, jobless.
Yes, true.
Yes.
What would you say were the main grievances for the Nakuru people? Nini nawakasirisha sana watu wa Nakuru?
Kitu nyingine
we have national grievances.
Yeah.
But what were the main issues with the guys?
Wow.
I'm sure you have issues with the governor.
Yes.
You just mentioned that.
Yes. So Nakuru was conferred to be a city. And in the allocation, the previous administration used to collect revenue 3.9 billion. Right now, Nakuru has had the largest drop. Nakuru is collecting 1.5 billion on source revenue. But the systems as you work, hiyo revenue inaenda kwa mfuko ya watu. Like my friend akona shop in town. I have a shop in town. Na kuna makanjo Nakuru town.
Okay.
Makanjo wengine wanakuambia pana usiende kulipa hiyo levy. Kuna mtu amepewa spaces zenye yeye ana collect dough in cash. Unampea 300 kila siku na si lazima an individual.
So it's not a systemized
exactly
way of collecting money.
Because the governor is lazy. There's nothing she's doing. There's no structures. What they're doing in Nakuru ni build malls. There's so much land grabbing. Step on people's feet like deliberately zile za hakuna Kenya unaweza do. Nakuru was conferred as a city na it was forced because Senate will have to overlook so many things.
Do you think it deserves to be a city?
It deserves to be a city,
like a city,
but haiko imefika your status.
I don't know why.
So the Senate,
I don't think
the Senate will overlook vitu kama on source revenue, waka overlook story na housing. But you find kama housing zenye zilitengenezwa Nakuru bondeni, the moment zilikuwa launched, kesho yake mkienda kuuliza hizi manyumba zote zimeenda, but zilibaiwa na wase kama ma MPs wa Nakuru.
Let's talk about Ford Foundation.
Okay.
The president mentioned Ford Foundation. And he said that those individuals are funding protests in Kenya. And they said, no, we are not. What is your role in the Ford Foundation organization? Okay,
I'll speak as Willie Oeba and not a representative of Ford, because Ford is very intentional on even how they outlay their messages. So Ford Foundation really does so much work around expanding the civic space in terms of democracy, accountability, expression, Article 37, leadership and governance. So I am a Ford Global Fellow, and this is a global project whereby after every year Ford picks 26 people in a rigorous exercise. From you do a written interview, because there is a board that sits down and nominates people. After that, they hand your names to another board that shortlists people. Then you do a written interview. If you pass after 1 month, you do a Kenyan interview, East African interview, African interview, then a global interview. Yeah, after you pass, they pick 26 people globally. So the last time they picked someone in Kenya, she's called Wawira. She does the Food for Education project. Exactly. She's also a Ford Global Fellow. So that is my connection with Ford Foundation. But what the president was talking about, you see, Ford funds civic spaces all over the world. Yeah. And when the protests started, we had organizations like Defenders Coalition, Amnesty International, CGHRD, and LSK, which are funded by Ford, but supports conversations around democracy. So when I get arrested, I will call Defenders Coalition as a human rights defender, and they'll bail me out. So these people thought that this money that they use to bail people out is from Ford Foundation. But grant money is very substrate specific, like it goes to a very specific project. Yes.
So as a global fellow, Ford fellow, what do you do? What do you do?
It's a leadership masterclass, and I have a project. So my project inaitwa Easy Academy. So Easy Academy deals with the intersectionality between arts and the creative economy and arts for social change. Because it's very hard to be an artist who does pieces on social justice. Sometimes it's very hard to get cash out from that. You're too hot to be booked by government entities, too hot to be booked by private entities, sometimes even too hot to be booked by other NGOs, depending on their interest. So I have my own enterprise that does
generating your income.
My income. I do merchandising, my own t-shirts, apparels. I got you.
Let's talk about what has made you viral lately.
Yes.
Mimi spoken word artist. Nilikuwa nikuja kuperform before akuja, nikasema wacha shine. Mimi niko hapa leo Friday tarehe 2 kuambia mchukue kura ndio 2027 Zakayo ashuke.
You are moving in Matatus.
Yeah.
Ikianza kwenda unasimama kama pastor.
Kabisa.
And then now you start preaching, so to speak.
Yeah.
But now you're actually teaching people civic education. Poetically.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Wow. So I do pieces, I do perform, I have my own shows. I do a lot of corporates, and the common denominator ni spoken word ni kama ni elitist sana, because it's found in very fancy Alliance, very fancy hotels, tukiitwa corporate and haikuji mtaani. So tukaona hizi issues bana zina touch on wase wenye wako ground, mse mwenye anatoka job 8 to 5 anaenda mtasis kejani na hata patana na hii akifika home amechoka. Tukasema what will we do tuanze kupiga hii spoken word kwa gari, because message yetu yote imekuwa for the longest time on expanding the civic space, defending democracy, accountability na leadership and integrity, kufuata constitution. Tukaanza kuifanya na a very good friend of mine anaitwa Brian Silways. Tukasema tutafanya aje, tunaingianga matatu, tunaenda na hiyo matatu tunalipa, alafu ikifika Midwest penye kumetulia tunasimama tunafanya mambo yetu, tunashuka tunaingia ingine and it expands the conversation because we post it online, we post it on Twitter, TikTok.
And that's how we knew you.
Yeah,
that's how I knew you.
Makanga go one police stop away from Kulu's another Finje. There's nothing to smile about when I know I am one stray bullet away from being a statistic.
How do people receive you? 1, 2, do you get nervous before you stand and start doing your thing?
Yes, you get nervous. I say every stage in a matter, performing for 2 people, 3 people kwa Matatu, because it's a very unconventional stage. You really have to get nervous.
I don't think I would do that.
Because if you don't get nervous, then your audience, it doesn't matter. You only get nervous because you have to deliver, and those people matter. So every stage iko na different challenge, and sometimes una perform conductor, kama kuna best yangu Silos alikuwa na perform conductor, kajaribu kumwambia hapana, because watu walikuwa nasema 8 Zakayo ashuke. Watu kumwambia hapana, wewe lazima amalize. Kaambiwa rudishiwa huyo fare. Mtu mmoja akasema tumelipa, mwingine akasema tumenunua lunch. So Ukienda kwa matatu moja reception ikose kwa poa, utaenda kwa matatu ingine reception ikuwe fiti, but purpose yetu si ati uende kwa matatu upigiwe makofi. We get that a lot. Tunapata standing ovation wapi? Purpose ni hiyo message ifike. Because kuna matatu ingine ndienda nikaperform, ilikuwa ya Donholm, na after, kuna madha mwingine alikuwa amenyamaza, na after that akaniambia nipe namba yako. Umesema unaitwa Willie Oeba, YouTube nimeangalia. So ukifikiria hata ule mtu mwenye ako kwa simu asikii, anasikiza. Ukimwangalia kwa mtazamo hivi. So yeye unitumia articles za constitution, si ubonga vitu fulani legendary. Hata alini plug event fulani recently.
Wow, that's nice.
Yeah.
So that's crazy, right? Do you make money out of this? Kuna majamaa kusukumia ka M-Pesa hivi?
Yeah, one or two times kuna msema amesema wacha ninunue lunch, wacha ninunue maji, but that is not the motive. Ikikuja well and good, but it's not the motive. Sasa zingine hata mimi upitia kwa tweet naona msee alisema usiku, wase kama 5 weka namba yako nikutumie maji, but nishatoka kwa matatu, kesho maybe kinini nitapaste.
For how long have you been doing this, the Matatu thing?
We started doing it on the 1st of
July.
The 1st of January 2024.
What? Okay.
The first piece we did kwa Matatu ilikuwa New Year.
Okay.
11:35 PM ikiingia 2nd January tulikuwa tunaenda Kawangware. Sasa nikaangalia hii matatu imeshona, nikaambia best yangu anaitwa Silways. Na kuanga na idea ya kupeleka hizi vitu zenye tunafanyanga huko KNT. Nilikuwa nimetoka ku-launch album yangu. Amazing. Hata King Kaka alikuwa kwa hiyo album. By the way, I'm King Kaka's favorite poet. Nilisahau kusema hiyo tukianza.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, we did Wajinga Nyinyi na in 2019.
I've been checking it out.
Thank you. So nikamwambia tusimame hapa tupige hii spoken word. The reception was amazing. And we started doing it. But time yenye watu walikuwa na need hii nini kabisa imekuwa right now.
Exactly, because ume blow up like from June to now actually. I was going to ask, well, you doing that. It's a good thing, but is it risky?
It's very risky.
Are you worried they might be coming for you?
Yeah.
So how
nimepata threats by the way, text message hata toka interview nikaonyesha Silways cheki nimepata threats online, hata msee anakuthreaten na anakuambia acha tupatane hizi vitu zenye unafanya hizo ujinga. Mimi kwa matatu yenye naingia siwezi kubali uongee. But you keep on regardless.
How do you deal with your security now? How do you, I don't know.
You see, when you do because I am a people's person. And I have been doing spoken word now for like 10 years since 2014. Like professionally. So najua kusoma psychology. I know kwa platform kama hiyo hakuna mse mwenye ataniham kwa sababu I'm not offending anyone. You see, they say when you tell the truth you have to be funny or else they will kill you. So kama kwa matatu mimi waita wajinga nyinyi sana, nawaambia Jesus alibetrayiwa na kiss na nyinyi mko hapa mnajichocha juu mlipewa hug. Wajinga nyinyi. So I tell these pieces in a very creative way. So metaphorical, it is very
chances of you getting
but I'm very cautious. Mi angalia environment before nifanye kitu yote. But sasa nikianza kusema nitembee na security kufanya hii stuff tena nitakuwa dilute essence ya Kenya because it belongs to the people.
Hujashikwa so far so good?
Sijashikwa, but I've been threatened.
Threats zimekuja. Let's talk Nane Nane as we wind down. You've been very vocal about Nane Nane. Are you going to be in the streets? What are you guys doing on Nane Nane? I don't know.
Okay, we are doing this because of the contempt of the Constitution and failed promises. There is a problem ya youth bulge enye ilianza since 1963 na ikakuwa postponed every time. It has never been addressed. But this particular administration haijakuwa intentional na haijakuwa open about it. Wamekuwa kidanganya and they do contrary to Kenya sisi tuna expect. Kama tulikuwa tumedemand cabinet ikuwe reshuffled, wa put people not affirmative action but waeke watu wenye wako na track record fiti na wa change structures, because hata mimi nikikuwa CS sahi siwezi work independently, kuna vitu zingine zitanikata miguu, but what the president anakuja kufanya opposite. Anakuja X, anabonga vizuri, anaenda kusema nilienda pale X watu wakatoroka. You see, so Nane is about taking our country back, and Rutoism, Ruto must go, and Zakayo Ashuke is also an ideology, pia, both physical and both an ideology that is long term. We're also playing a long game, because we will only have a new generation of leaders if we have a new generation of voters, and people need to come out. People need kuchukua ID. State Department ya Immigration na registration of persons hawapeani ID because wanajua 2027 tunaanguka nayo. Peaneni ID bana. So Nane is also about kuambia watoe ID, systems work. Hata Zakayo asiposhuka 8 atashuka tu bado 2027. So the journey is still on.
That's true.
Yeah.
Moving forward, Willie Oeba, and this is my last question.
Yeah.
Where do we go next as young people? Where do we go next? Where do you go next with your activism and your arts?
Yeah.
What next?
We have to respect the fact that we are not where we want to be, but we are not where we used to be. It's a very good thing that our collective conscience has been pricked as a nation, and the fabric of the nation is being tightened, and people now know, people understand that we need to set the agenda, we need to keep the conversation going online, mainstream, kwa ground. So where we go, tuendelee kupush, tuendelee keep our leaders accountable, tuendelee keep vitu in check, because change and revolution is not a one-day thing. Even if Zakayo akishuka leo, we can have another Zakayo in the next 30 years. True. But we need to keep this conversation going, because consistency is the only thing failure can keep up with. So mimi I'll keep on. Hata Zakayo akishuka leo, bado tarehe 9, bado I'll keep on kuendelea kukua kwa Matatu, because we need to revolutionize the mindset. Because my idea as a spoken word artist, I don't have to do everything. I don't have to be the leader kwa grao. I just have to do the small little thing, because the idea again is not to change the world for me, but to spark the mind that will change the world, because true leadership is in delegation. So where we go, let us keep the conversation going. Let us keep holding these leaders accountable. Let us keep expanding the civic space. Yeah.
I like that. I mean, he said it all. I was really going to give a kicker of an outro, but he just said it all. He's very consistent. He's very passionate. He's doing his thing. And he's saying even after Nane, he still is going to the streets, to the Matatus, and the message has to be sent home. That is Willie Oeba. Check him out, and please listen to the message. This is Citizen Digital. My name is Kabuga.
Watoto wanalala njaa, tulikunywa na pesa ya kula na vizuri, unajua pombe iwezi lika. Wanasiasa pia wanadanganya.